What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and we're only a few days in this break within the Johnny Depp trial, and I'm going to be honest, I kind of miss it. I'm kind of sad that it's not coming on tomorrow. Don't get me wrong, I think we all needed a bit of a vacation, even if we don't realize it. We needed to take a break from this case because it was getting kind of heavy there, and I think everyone just needs to take a second to just breathe. But I gotta admit, I'm sad that it's not coming on tomorrow because I'm ready to get down to business. I'll just be honest, I'm ready to get down to business. The anticipation of what may happen is absolutely killing me. And if you really want me to boil it down to what the real issue is here, I am ready to see the cross-examination of Amber Turd. I am ready for Johnny's lawyers to pick her story apart. And I cannot wait for it any longer. But unfortunately, we're going to have to. But over this break, a lot of people have been weighing in with their thoughts. And a few experts have weighed in with their thoughts on this case. And I wanted to take a look at what they had to say. Because for the most part, we try to keep an open mind over here on this channel. You know, we have to understand that not everyone thinks the same way. Not everyone thinks the way we do. There's a jury involved in this trial, and we don't know their train of thought. We don't know how they're approaching this case. So I think it's important to understand where people are coming from and to get other people's takes on the situation. It's never good to live in an echo chamber, but let's listen to what these experts have to say. I mean, we may agree with them, we may disagree with them, and we will see along the way. But trial consultant Jill Huntley Taylor says that AH's testimony has raised the stakes of this case. AH has taken a riskier approach. Her claims of what Johnny did to her are very extreme. If the jurors believe her, she should see a windfall to award her and punish Depp, Taylor says. However, if jurors do not believe her, they will punish her. For that reason, her credibility seems paramount to the jurors' decisions. Well, that's basically, I would say, common sense, right? Now, another expert weighs in and says, unfortunately, when she talks about actual incidents of violence, her comments go from victim to actress. And that's a real big problem for her. Hey. And that was Burt Ward. He's actually the co-chairman of the matrimonial and family law practice at Blank Rome. So he's worked on a lot of divorce cases and what have you. And he says that during her testimony, she'll go from sounding basically somewhat plain, somewhat believable, and then she'll transition her story to recount all of these horrible moments and all of these horrible things that Johnny did to her. And during those moments, she dials it up. She dials up the acting. And that's not going to look good on her. Because she's not keeping like the same energy throughout. She dials up the way she talks, the way she's acting. She's trying to fake cry and it's not working. You know, I felt like after the first day, when she couldn't produce any tears, that she shouldn't have tried to go that route again the second day. But she doubled down on it and continued to try to make herself cry, and it would not work. So he's basically saying that this is going to backfire on her. This difference in the way she's acting when she starts talking about these events is going to backfire on her because it looks like she's overacting. It looks like she's dialing it up, being dramatic, however you would want to explain it. Now, Ward pointed specifically to comments Heard made while describing physical assaults she said she suffered at the hands of Johnny Depp, such as AH noticing how dirty her carpet was when a slap from Depp knocked her to the floor. Ward said from her descriptions of these events had a tendency to sound like a soliloquy. So he's saying that the description of her events, it sounds like a soliloquy. And yes, that moment when she's talking about how dirty the floor was and stuff like that, that like just totally made me just roll my eyes in the back of my head. I thought they were going to get stuck there because it was just so over the top, and it was one of those things where it was like you're adding extra unneeded details to make yourself sound believable. And I know that may fool some people, but it's not going to fool me. I was just focusing on this dirty carpet. For one, I don't necessarily believe that the carpet was dirty. I mean, they got plenty of money. There's plenty of people around them cleaning up after them. Maybe the carpet was dirty. Who knows? But for two, when she said that, when she recounted that story, I actually saw this clip of this Netflix movie. And the story that the girl told in this movie and the story that AH is telling, really similar. The way she was describing it and looking at the dirty carpet, it was really similar to what happened in this movie. I gotta see if I could find the clip. But man, it was like, damn. This woman literally sits at home, watches movies about DV and SA, and uses these stories to basically, I don't know what the right word would be here. She doesn't copy and paste these stories as her own, but she's heavily influenced by these stories. You could tell that her lies about Johnny Depp are heavily influenced by literal movies and stuff. And it's really psychotic. It's really crazy. It's something that everyone is picking up on. Yet she keeps getting away with it. She keeps getting away with it. Now, Krista Ramey, a co-founder of LA-based civil litigation firm Ramey Law PC, agreed. She said that level of detail Heard remembered from these alleged assaults is not typically how victims remember trauma. Victims usually have fragmented memories of their experiences, she said. And exactly, this woman is claiming that she was getting like her head beat in, she was losing consciousness, noses were getting broken, black eyes, she was passing out, just getting beat near to death. Yet she remembers the carpet being dirty. And she just remembers like these details that are really strange and over-exaggerated in a way that, like I said, it makes you believe that she's lying. Now, people out there will buy her story because she does have these random details that are like, you know, and to some people may be like, well, she's talking about the dirty, obviously it's true. She remembers the dirty carpet. Why would she even say that if it wasn't true? But it's just like added little spice. You know, like, have you ever seen Emerald Lagasse? It's like she has these lies about Johnny Depp, and then she takes these little details and she's like, bam, 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 you know, dirty carpet, bam. And it's like, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it one bit, and I don't think many people are. Now, Ramey goes on to say that your mind works to protect you. And so it kind of buries fragments of memories in different parts of your brain. And what you recall doesn't come out normally as a story with a beginning, middle, and ending. Well said. So as you all know, we still have another week of waiting until this trial starts again. And I made a point on one of my last videos that I think this break is actually bad for Johnny Depp. And it looks like Amber Melville Brown, a media and reputation law specialist, agrees with me. The jury is left with Amber Heard's testimony still ringing in their ears. If they find her credible, and if they dwell on that over the coming days, that may be to Miss Heard's advantage. Now, when I made that comment in one of my prior videos, I got a lot of pushback because a lot of people were saying, no, this will work in Johnny's favor And I'm open to all opinions. You know, there's nothing wrong with having your own opinion. But a lot of people were like, no, you're wrong. You're definitely wrong. I disagree. This is going to work in Johnny's favor because Johnny's lawyers now have more time to ready their cross-examination, to ready their questions, to ready what they're going to say to Miss Turd, to pick her story apart. And I agree with that. That's nice. But we have to remember this trial is going to be decided by a jury. This trial isn't going to be decided by the facts presented within this case. It's going to be decided by humans with human emotions. And as much as we would like to believe that the jury is going to go over all the facts in this case and they're really going to be really, professional about how they handle this, often juries react off of emotions, not necessarily the facts that are presented. And that's just the reality, folks. So the reason why I say this would work in Amber Turd's favor is because, for one, when Johnny got to have his testimony, directly afterwards there was a cross-examination. So there were challenges to what Johnny had to say directly after he said what he had to say. After Johnny's testimony, there were other witnesses, and the case just went on and on and on. Now, when you're presented with all this information so quickly, you're not going to hold on to a lot of that stuff as much as what you would hold on, the information you would hold on to like right before a 10-day break. You know what I mean? They saw Johnny's testimony, and then there's however many days left of the trial afterwards. However many more witnesses took the stand. That's a lot of information to take in. I would think that a lot of these jurors are probably still like mind blown. Like, what in the hell? We're a juror on the Johnny Depp trial? How did this even happen to us? A lot of them are probably still just trying to process that, let alone all this information that's being poured on them 24/7. So Johnny's testimony, regardless of how powerful it is, they were presented with a shit ton of information afterwards. Whereas AH had these 2 days of testimony and it's going unchallenged. So that's 10 days of people hanging on to her last words without any questions, without any cross-examination, without being presented with any more information to overload their minds with. So they're going to be hanging on to what she had to say for 10 literal days. 10 days of no new information, nobody questioning what she had to say. Now, of course, people are going to question what she has to say once we get back from break. But by then, you don't know what type of connection these people could have formed emotionally to what she had to say. Not everyone is Johnny Depp fans. Not everyone is someone who knows a lot about this case. Everyone has their own train of thoughts. Everyone thinks differently. So we don't know how these people are going to react. However, if you ask me, I think everything's going to Johnny's favor so far. I don't see no reason to worry. I'm just saying that I think this break is going to go more so in her favor as opposed to in Johnny's favor. Because honestly, did Johnny's team really need a 10-day break to work on the cross-examination, to work on what they're going to say? They're ready. They're ready. You at home watching this video with no experience at all, you could probably go out there and pick her story apart by yourself. Johnny doesn't need these high-profile lawyers. You at home could go out there and do just as good of a job. Her story is there's just so many holes in it, it's easy to pick apart, honestly. But we'll see. We'll see how it works out. I'm hoping everything works in his favor. And like I said, very optimistic still. I'm just saying, if we're talking about things, we have a week left until the trial starts. So minds are wondering, pondering over different things. But I want to know your thoughts down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you on the next video.